5. Now, tomorrow, of course, all eyes will be focused on Washington and the House Oversight Committee and the hearing tomorrow on Benghazi. But today there was another very important hearing. Remember how big of an issue the Keystone pipeline project became during the presidential election. But what has gone on since? Is there any movement either to permanently kill that project, which we hope does not happen, or we get it underway? Well, there was a hearing on Capitol Hill today on that, and Utah Congressman Chris Stewart, who is chairman of the subcommittee on the environment, led the hearing, and he's joining us on our Newsmaker line right now. Chris, how are you, and welcome back to the show.
Hey, good evening, Rod. It's always great to be with you.
Let me ask you, what was the hearing about today, and where do we stand on Keystone?
Well, it was about Keystone, and we're trying to pressure the administration to finally make a decision on it. I mean, it's been more than 4 years that they've been studying this thing. And I tell you, you have to strain at a gnat and swallow a camel to come up with any great reasons why this project shouldn't go forward. And that's what the administration has had to do. I mean, their own State Department, their environmental impact study says that it should go forward. And there's just, like I say, you have to work really, really hard to come up with some arguments why this is a bad idea.
In your opinion, Chris, is this project safe, and is it environmentally sound?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we looked at three primary questions in the committee, and we had, conservative and liberal and environmental groups. We had a wide range of witnesses, but we asked three things. The first thing is it safe? And here's the deal. The pipeline, the safety record of pipelines is 99.99905%. I mean, it is an extraordinarily safe way of transporting oil, and it's far more safe than, say, transporting through rail or truck, which is what they're doing now. The second question is, do we need it? And there's just absolutely no question that we do. There's great economic benefit. 42,000 jobs are produced, $2.05 billion of economic activity, and it reduces our dependence on foreign sources of oil from really nasty parts of the world. And then I think the third question is, does it contribute to global warming? And we wanted to consider that question because we know that some people are concerned about that. And at the end of the day, it increases global temperatures by less than 100,000%. And I think when you consider those three things, again, how can you not say that this is a good idea?
Well, Congressman, then what is holding it up? I mean, why can't we get moving on this project?
Well, let me say that I think we're going to get moving on it. I just think there's so much pressure that the science behind this and the economic viability of this project is so great, and it's building. I don't think the administration can withstand it any longer. But to answer your question, the reason it hasn't gone forward is because President Obama was beholden to very strident environmental groups, and he feels great pressure from them. But again, when his own State Department recognizes that this is a safe and effective way of transporting that oil, it's going to be hard for him to turn his back on that, I think.
Now, this would take tar sands, oil from tar sands from Canada, and bring it down into the United States and to our ports down there in the Gulf of Mexico. Is Canada still firm on trying to do this? Because I remember after the president announced his initial decision, Canada's, there was rumor they'd start talking to China and build it in that direction instead of coming through the United States. Is Canada still committed to this project?
Well, they are, and there's no question that their first choice is to, have that trading relationship with the United States. There's all sorts of reasons why that's advantageous to them and to us. But here's the reality. If we don't build this pipeline, Canada's going to sell the oil somewhere. And if you want to have a far greater environmental impact, then ship this oil to China or to India and let them refine it there. If you're concerned about global warming, remember, that's a global problem. That's not a U.S. problem. And China and India have far less strident environmental protections built into their refining process. And it would be a much dirtier process. If you care about climate change, then let us refine this oil. We have far more strident, again, aggressive protocols in our refining process, and it's going to be a much cleaner process than shipping it overseas and doing it.
All right. Well, Congressman, you hold a hearing today. You hear from all sides of this issue. What's going to come out of this? What is next in this process? And, you said you believe this is going to get built, but I guess the question is when?
Well, I think probably, I can't predict the future, and for heaven's sakes, this administration surprises all of us all the time. But the president has said that he's going to announce a decision sometime early summer, and I think he'll probably adhere to that. There's no more political advantage in letting this dribble out any longer. Heavens, we've fought and won World War II in less time than it's taken them to make a decision on this pipeline. And again, my feeling is that he's probably gonna prove it. I just don't see how he can build an argument for not doing it.
Yeah, there's not much of an argument out there anymore, is there, Congressman?
No. I mean, from national security to economic security to jobs to the environment, all of those point towards building this pipeline.
All right. Well, Congressman Chris Stewart, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, Rod, thank you so much for giving me the chance.
All right. That's Utah Congressman Chris Stewart, chairman of the Subcommittee on the Environment, leading a hearing today on getting the Keystone Pipeline project moving again.